Most traders only see what's in front of them, profit or loss. But every decision that you make has a second order consequence. It is a consequence after a consequence after a consequence, which leads to another. That is a chain reaction that builds you as a trader from now, when you're watching this video, all the way until next year, the year after, the year after. What traders don't understand is this is compounding good or bad habits. But we spoke about compounding effect and things like that a lot. You know about Einstein, eighth wonder of the world. But when I look at this from a different angle, and it's a second order consequence, you're going to then say, right, I think I've got a light bulb moment. So stick around. This is for you. If you want to get your trading successful, these are the types of videos that you need to be looking at. So like I said, second order consequence. If you ignore this, this is where you blow accounts. This is where you blow personal accounts. This is where for 3 or 4 years down the line, you're still doing the same habits. Second order consequence. And you must understand this. And in this video, I'm going to break down, no fluff, no charts, you know stuff, straight truth and the stuff that you need to be a profitable trader, not the things that you don't need. And we're going to break it down in this video. So let's look at it from this point of view. As a beginner trader, you just buy, oh, well, I'm reactionary. If it goes up, I'll buy, I'll win. If it goes down, I might short, I'll win. You're only thinking about those types of things. That is first order thinking. That's the first kind of way that we think, right? It's very shallow. It ends at the surface level. Now, as you're a trader, and the more that you trade, yes, it's simple. Once you've got an edge in the market, and once you've got that, that mechanical system or methodical way of trading or whatever you want, yes, that's the edge. And then we know about the psychology side of things. And this is where we get deeper into that. That level surface of thinking is only going to get you maybe a couple of payouts. A lot of people don't even ever get to payouts. So we need to go deeper, which is the deeper layer of the way that the mind works. And like I said, that first consequence, that first order of thinking, that is very surface level. It's kind of how you might just get away and you might just get a payout, or you might pass one funded account and then blow it straight away. You're reacting. You're not just thinking. You're only seeing what's in front of me in this trade, right? You're basing everything on emotion. Oh, well, it won. You're not reviewing. It just won. And then you're like, oh, well, I did well today. That's not going to get you where you need to get to. That's not strategic. Strategic thinking is that second order consequence. Now, second order of thinking, you're going to start to ask questions. If I take this trade, what happens next? What habits am I going to potentially build or compound or trigger from this trade? Now that sounds quite deep, but that's how you need to look at each trade. One, that's going to stop you from getting in bad trades. One, it's going to help you manage trades in the right way that you need to. And that's what you're creating here, my people. A blueprint for yourself, your edge, yourself, your psychology, your personal traits and beliefs and strengths and weaknesses are all going to come from the second order consequence of thinking. All right. So what mindset am I going to create from the trades that I'm going to take today? If you're chasing Lamborghinis, and I know this is a big thing in trading, if you're chasing these lifestyle stuff, if you're chasing get quick rich schemes, if you're chasing all these things, you are creating a surface level of first thinking principles. Okay, the first level of thinking. That's not going to get you where you need to get to. All right. Every win or every loss is going to teach you something. You are wiring and rewiring your brain for the future behavior right now. This is deep, and you must understand that what you do today will be compounded tenfold. The reason I've never taken drugs, and I come from a city and an area and friends where drugs is paramount, people dying all the time, overdoses, close friends. The reason I've never taken drugs is because I've seen what happens if you continue to do that. Or alcohol, or gambling. I've seen what happens if you consistently do that. It compounds and it creeps and it will absorb you. Eating fast food. Before you know it, you may have been in the gym for 2 years. You go on a binge eating and you eat fat foods for 2 weeks and your gains are gone. This is surface level of thinking. You need to get second order consequence thinking into your trading. All right. So then let's move on to the habit, because we're speaking about habits right now. Let's talk about when you revenge trade. You're not just losing money, you're teaching yourself that emotional decisions are acceptable. You're teaching yourself that emotional revenge trading is just acceptable. Oh, it's just emotional trading. It's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. It may work out once. It may work out twice. It may even work out 3 times, and you up your size and then you've blown your account. Now, when you think of second order consequences, it can work in a negative way as well, because if you think about that example of what I've just shown you, that it's acceptable, you're going to compound that behavior. So that's actually now a second order consequence, because consequences make consequences, make consequences, make consequences until infinity. So yes, it's good to think in a second order consequence in a positive way, but you must be aware in a negative way. Very, very important. Trade impulsively enough, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to become an impulsive trader permanently. Permanently. If you trade impulsive trading, reactionary, whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, revenge trading, oversizing, you're going to continue to do that. That is a second order consequence. I know, because I did that for years. And sometimes now I might make a mistake and then I can get hold of my second order consequence and I say, I know where this is going. And you need to understand where this is going. All right. Now, on the flip side, when you respect your stop loss, you're building discipline. Guess what? Discipline compounds into consistency. That's a positive chain reaction by using the second order consequence. That is a positive. So I always talk about in my videos, people talk about dopamine, especially humans, especially men. Women tend to be better at trading. Big shout out to the women in the community. They tend to be better at trading because they have a different way on a biology of the thinking and the control that they have. As men, we've got such high testosterone. We want to chase the dopamine 24/7 and all these things. That creates then a chain reaction. And we need to make it where we're not chasing the dopamine hit of winning or a great trade. We need to chase the dopamine of implementing and successfully completing our process for each trade. The dopamine needs to come from the process. All right. And I've spoke about that in many other videos as well, but that's the compounding. The compound of discipline relates and then is a byproduct. Well, consistency is a byproduct of compounding your discipline. All right. Very, very important. That's a positive chain reaction. So if you ask yourself before every trade, what habit am I reinforcing right now? I think you should have that printed out. If you're struggling at this moment in time, and if you are struggling, then you know where I am. There is a link below. Come and work with me. Join the community. We can help you. We will get you funded. If you're already funded, we will get you to that payout by implementing a very, very simple way of trading, the precision stack model, what I do moving forward. Nice plug there for all the people that want to jump and work with myself. So ask yourself, before each trade, what habit am I reinforcing right now? What habit am I reinforcing right now? And that can be for all habits. We've all had vices. We've all had things. I call it the Achilles heel, because if you ever have a bad Achilles heel injury, you're on the deck. We all have vices. Okay, we all have vices. I've managed to get my vices very, 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 very low. It's probably just chocolate right now. But again, we all have vices, and you need to be aware of what is this going to trigger. That is second order consequences. And I will repeat that again, second order consequences. That is a thinking that we need to do. So if we think of that, and that's the way that we need to think, what are we going to get out of that? Well, the market is going to reward you. The market is going to reward second order thinkers. There's no doubt about that. All right. Now, it's not going to punish you if you do it in the correct way. It will punish you if you do it in the wrong way. So short-term thinkers, which tend to be first level of thinkers, surface level, they get punished. They get punished. Can I make this amount of dollars? Change dollars to ticks or points. Can I do this very, very quickly today? Those are short-term thinkers. You will get punished. Anyone can make money once. Anyone can pass a combine once. Anyone can get a big payout once. But can you make it sustainable? Can you make it consistent? That's a massive challenge in trading, my friends. Challenge, which has been for myself, challenge for people that I work with. It is a challenge because this is a hard career. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't let any nonsense tell you any different. This is a hard career, but it can be made very, very simple and easier by simplifying the mind. By simplifying the mind. So second order thinkers, we can have this ripple, okay? We see a ripple as a second order thinking. How's today's trade going to affect tomorrow's mindset? What about next week's confidence? What about next month's strategy? If I'm up $1,000 this week and I go and revenge trade on a Friday and blow that $1,000, your weekend's ruined and you're going to go into next week chasing the money and you're going to feed a bad habit. So how is this trade going to affect next week? How is next week going to affect next month? And so on and so on and so on. Remember, you're never trading the charts. The charts do not care about you. You're never trading the charts. You are trading the psychology around those charts, around your decision making across a period of time. Not one day, not 1 week, not even a year. You've got to think of this as long term. All right, that's what's actually happening right now. So that's why some traders evolve very, very quickly. And that's why some traders continuously repeat and repeat and repeat, because they don't have the videos, they don't have the content, they don't have the mentor, they don't have the knowledge to think any different. I did that for 3-4 years. I didn't have this content. I didn't have communities. There were terrible communities and scams and whatever. We didn't have this knowledge when it came to trading. So we just tried to pass, tried to do this, tried to do that. It was personal account then. And just kept repeating the same mistakes and not understanding that is surface level thinking. All right. So let's think of it from this point. Every trade is a trajectory. All right. Positive or negative. Remember, it can work in a negative way as well. If you're constantly cutting winners early, which is a problem, and I used to do that, and some people still do that across the board, your future self becomes risk averse. So then you create fear when you're in profit. So have you ever been down the road where you've had 5-6 trades in a row and then the 6th trade has completely blown you out of the water? You have become risk averse. You are now fearful in the green. You think the market's going to take something away from you. The market does not know who you are. The market does not care. The market is probably not going to stop hunt your little 2 contracts. All right. Yes, there are liquidity grabs, but just think next level thinking. Okay. It's very, very important. If you keep moving your stop loss, your future self becomes reckless. If you're like, oh, I don't want to get stopped out. I don't really want the market to stop me out. So I'm going to move my stop loss because you've not pre-planned your trade. Well, what's going to happen? You are teaching yourself recklessness. Another problem when it comes to brand new traders. Okay. And then you've got to think of a second order consequence are time bombs if you use them in a negative way. You either build consistency or you build chaos. Now, I can guarantee you that when you are building chaos, you're not even aware of the second order consequences. But if you can be aware of your second order consequences, it's going to work in a positive way for you. I truly believe that it only normally works in a negative way when you are not aware of that level of thinking. Because you're not aware of what's actually going on. Because if you were aware, you would have the capacity and the maturity and the discipline to pull yourself up and say, I can see what's happening here and I can see that this consequence is going to lead to this consequence. And by the end of the day, I'm going to blow my account and I've got to restart all over again. All right. So your future equity curve is just a visual of your current mental decisions and they are compounding. Let me just say that one more time because I need you to get a picture in your head right now. Imagine this right now. Your future equity curve. Let's do it in whatever color you want. Let's do it on a white blank canvas. Let's have our graph and let's have a blue line. Let's have a green line that's going to be moving our equity curve to the upside. Smiles on our face. It's all nice and all rosy. But this will only happen. That profits will only come in. That lifestyle that you want will only come in. That freedom will only come in based on the current mental decisions that you have at that moment in time. And you need to improve that. That is the power of compounding, my friends. The power of compounding. So let's think beyond the trade. This is a good one. I love this video. Let's think beyond the trade. I hope you're taking notes. Stop asking, will this trade make me money? There's nothing worse when a new trader messages me and they're brand new and they want to jump on a mentorship, and they say to me, or they want to get involved, and they say to me, how much money can I make each day? How many trades do you take each day? That's how I used to think. That is surface level thinking. Trading doesn't work like that. You get what you are given in trading. You take what you can in trading, all right? So what you need to start asking is, what will this trade teach me today? Not, will this trade make me money? What will this trade teach me today? This is the mindset beyond trading. Another point is, you've got to say to yourself, that is a shift. That's a shift from reaction to mastery. You need to master the way that you think. And every video that I speak about, you can see that, okay? I do the odd trade recap for the people who want to see the surface level stuff, and I'll do that. But this is the deeper. This is the second order consequence content, all right? Every setup, every journal entry, every emotional trigger, they're all creating future versions of yourself. I know it's boring work, but guess what? The richest people on the planet are all boring. They're all boring. They do the same thing every single day, every single time, at the same time, every single day, time and time again. Because they've created a version to become what they want, all right? The pro trader doesn't win because he's got better signals. He could take the same trade as you, I could take the same trade as you, and you could get blown out the water, okay? And I might win that trade because I'm thinking further ahead than you. A full-time trader will think further ahead than you. That's the key. Second level. You can copy strategies, but you cannot copy second level awareness. You can't copy that second order awareness. You just can't, all right? So let's give you some key points here, right? Let me give you some little simple mental checkpoints that you can do, right? First thing is immediate outcome. What's the short-term result that you are expecting? What is the short-term result that you are expecting, all right? Second order thinking. What behavior does this reinforce? All right. Third order thinking. What trajectory does this behavior set me over time? Remember, time is the key here. All right. Then we'd have a look at the future test. The future test, where we're going to be. If I repeat this 100 times, what kind of trader do I become? If you repeat your behavior 100 times from watching this video, what type of trader do you become? If the answer is that it's going to build you as a trader that you want to be, fine, continue what you're doing. But if not, you've got to walk away from those things. You've got to walk away from those things, all right? It's very, very important. So again, your decisions are going to ripple through time. Your habits, the way that you trade, however well it is, they're going to put you in a position where you deserve to be in the future. So start thinking beyond the first level, the first order of thinking, and you're going to stop trading like a beginner. If you are a beginner watching this video, or you are struggling, you can't get consistent payouts, get beyond the thinking of a new trader. Get beyond the thinking of chasing a guru in a green. It's always green Lamborghini, and it's always a green Lamborghini. With some crazy signals group who says everything's for free and they take all your broker and all these types of things that go on in the industry. Get beyond that. Remove yourself from that way of thinking and those environments. All right, it's very, very important. Now, if you like these videos, again, hit the comment. I want you to comment below. Have you been thinking first level thinking, second level thinking? So put first order consequence or second order consequence in the comments below. And if you need any help, you know exactly where I am. Hit the link below. Let's get you on that proper trajectory for where you need to be. Remember the green line, which is going to be your future trading self. And again, I'll see you on the next one.